Hi, welcome to Boxing Fans Talk TV. I'm your host, TDT, or you can refer to me as Miss T, and the beat goes on. Let's turn two. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Boxing Fan Talks TV. As you saw in my caption about Oscar Valdez, or shall we call him Valdez, and the beat goes on. Oscar Valdez is still claiming that he's innocent. He's doing, I'm innocent, I'm innocent. But we all know he's not innocent. So, Oscar Valdez, aka, like I said, Valdez, claims he doesn't know how the banned substance, fentanyl, showed up in his system on August 13th when he did a VADA test, you know, before his fight that's coming up this weekend. Now, he is with the WBC and they run the CBP, the Clean Boxing Program, which says that VADA can test you all year. It doesn't say when they're going to test you because it's not worth it if they told you when you L Dub in the building. What's good? I think I got it right this time, huh? Well, the CBP doesn't tell you when they're gonna show up. That ruins the surprise, right? But he's a part of that program if he's with the WBC, and he's saying, "I don't know how the drugs got in there. The dog ate my homework." L Dub says, "Did you hear that Figueroa tested positive for COVID and his fight with Fulton is postponed?" Oh Lord, no, I did not hear it. I did not hear it. I was out all day running errands. I did not see that. And that was a fight that I was actually looking forward to. Oh my goodness, that was going to be a good fight. I actually went back and watched some of Fulton's fights. Yeah, that was going to be a good fight because I always have seen Brandon Figueroa. But Lord have mercy. They can't get a replacement. All these cancellations. How is this possible? How is this possible? It's like if you go by boxing records here lately, them shots that we got for the COVID ain't worth a damn because everybody's still catching, or people are not taking the shots or getting the vaccines. So I don't know. That's disappointing. Here we go again. But getting back to Oscar saying, I don't know how the banned substance got in my system. It's your body. You should know. He fights. His fight is for September 10th. Thanks to his sugar daddy, Mauricio Suleiman, the president of the WBC, aka Mr. Cantone from Harlem Nights. Um, he covering from him. He covering for him. He's not. He's saying, nothing to see here. They basically just sweeping it under the rug. But I talked yesterday about how corrupt I think Suleiman is. So we're not gonna get a fair shake on that. L Dub said Raees Salim is on the car. Hopefully they can make Fulton That will be a good fight. That boy right there, Aleem. Oh my goodness, you talking about? I forgot the dude name that I seen him fight this year. Oh my goodness, y'all talking about entertainment? That's the one right there. Um, those are fighters. I really want to see it. So I hope they do something because that's like another letdown. We thinking that we coming into the fall all good, and we're not. Everything's getting canceled now. It's like what 32, 33 days out before Deontay and Tyson Fury. I'm gonna talk about that too in a minute. Not much to say, but seems like he already looking for a way out. I'm talking Tyson Fury, that is. Never Deontay. But Mauricio Suleiman, Mr. Cantone, is covering for Oscar Valdez. Why he covering for him? Simple. He's Mexican. It is as simple as that. He's Mexican, therefore he get the blanket of covering. He gets the complexion for the protection for the collection. That's what he gets. Everybody else be damned. But when it come to Mexican fighters, oh, Suleiman is on code. He still maintains his WBC super featherweight belt versus Roberson Conseco in Tucson, Arizona. So going into that fight, he still has his belt. Valdez, if you're being fair, once he popped, should have been stripped of his belt. We see that happen all the time. We've seen it happen to David Benavidez. We've seen it happen to other fighters. Once you pop, you get stripped of your belt. The whole complete fight is not always in the ring. It starts on that scale and it starts when you're doing them drug testing. All of that has to check every box and you have to dot your I's and cross your T's when you're preparing for a fight. And if you live and file, you should be held accountable. But Valdez will not be held accountable, unfortunately, for the rest of the boxing fans or whatever fans, people in boxing, whoever, because their bottom line means more to them than that other opponent, his opponent's life. Um, and that's just unfortunate. Valdez has a record of 29 wins, 0 losses, and 23 KOs, and he still blames the T. Yes, he blamed it on the T. But we had contrary reports by people like Victor Conte, and he would know, explaining what fentanyl really does in the body. But those of you who probably missed the shows before, fentanyl is kind of like a diuretic. It helps you lose weight. Remember what I said. It's different parts to that fight. The weight scale. Now that's cheating. You cannot use something to help you lose weight. You're supposed to do all this on your own. And Victor Conte said that it does more than that. It gives you energy and stamina, which makes you work even harder. That's all of that is cheating. And it shouldn't be going down because when you get in that ring, death can be on the menu. When they get in that ring, death is on the menu. They might not intentionally want to kill somebody, but that is always possible. This is why cheating cannot be allowed. He is changing his story a bit. You gotta listen to the more he talk, the more they seem simple or stupid. He changing the story a bit by like one word. And to me, it means that one word means everything. At first, when he came out, he said, I was drinking herbal tea. He didn't say nothing to allude to how many times he was drinking tea. He act like, hey, I had some tea. Kind of like how Canelo said, hey, I had a burger or a taco or something. Like it was a one-time incident. If you looking at how he said his words. But he could have meant he had, he just been drinking tea throughout his camp. But now he is saying he thinks it's due to him drinking different, and I highlight the word different types of herbal teas during training camp. Now, why would he go to say from I drank some herbal tea, it was in the tea, to I drank many different types of herbal teas? The word different makes it seem like I don't know what it could be. It was so many different teas. I was just trying out this new herbal tea. Well, if you slated to fight, why would you think that that's the time to try anything out? That is not the time to. Let me test this. Let me see what this is. Try it out for what? I was trying out. Just how he talked, it just makes it seem all guilty. What you need to try out tea for? Tea is tea. But as Victor Conte said, there is no way, no how that herbal tea has any phentermine in it. No tea has phentermine in it. It is a drug that is prescribed, and that's the only way you can get it. So how you why would you point to tea? And see, when he said herbal tea, as in one type of tea, now he's saying different tea, as in a variety of tea, as if that's going to change what Victor Conte said. It is not found in any tea. You can get some Lipton tea bags. You ain't gonna find it in that. Man, and how you make tea? I thought you make it with bags anyway. So how is anything in there? I guess it bleeds out in the water, but you had trace amounts in your system, and your story don't drive jive with the trace amounts they found, because if it was simple as it might have been in the tea, there would have been other things that showed up and it didn't. But that's the story he want to tell, and he gonna stick to it. So, like I said, the word different is a change of story. Because once Victor Conte replied to his herbal tea, oh, I had many different teas. I had different teas. I don't know. I was just trying out teas. Really? Before a fight, you start trying shit. And many different teas. That's to say, it could be anything. You remember on Look Who's Talking when he said could be peaches, could be ham. We don't know. You know. uh Iparika. I hope I said that correctly. T. We talking about T. Allen Iverson voice. Yes. Welcome to the building, King. Iparika. I don't know how to pronounce that, but I tried. So excuse me if I said it wrong. But yeah, T. We talking T in his Allen Iverson voice. So he put the different just to confuse people. Cause they could be like, well, what I'm sure somebody asked them, what tea? Oh, it was different teas. It was many different teas. As if, that was a way to not narrow down some stuff. Let me turn my phone out. So that's what he's saying now. If you keep watching him every day and keep asking him the same question, I'm sure there's gonna be some different ways that he phrases it that kind of changes the narrative. It was a T, now it's many different T's. And somebody made the point of, well, if it's tea, can you go get that tea bag, or can you go get the tea that you was drinking? And I tell you what, we'll test it. And then if we find phentermine in that, cool. Me no speaking English. I don't know where no tea's at. I mean, I used them all. They all gone. I can't find them. I'm sure they asked, well, what store did you buy it at? What kind of tea? Do y'all see how crazy this sounds? He can't even name the tea. It's a million teas in the world. What tea? What herbal tea? Only tea I can think of right now is Lipton, but then you got the teas that go with your Keurig. They got different types of teas. They got English browning tea. What tea? What herbal tea? Can you name it? Can you point it out? Can we go to the store and pick one off the shelf and then test it and see if they putting out tea with phentermine in it? And why would they do that? And especially if the word is herbal, then that should means that it's free from anything unnatural. Phentermine is a drug. Phentermine don't just grow in the ground. Power said, I'm more of the tea Java tea drinker. I never heard of that, but I like tea, but I can't drink tea all the time. Tea in its natural state will make you go to the bathroom. So would coffee. But tea won't do what phentermine does. It won't clean your system out if you have other banned substances. It won't clean it out as to hide what you took before when you're trying to cycle off. Tea won't do that. Tea won't give you stamina. It's different that some people drink tea and it's like if it's caffeinated and then anything with caffeine you get going, right? But tea won't give you stamina. It won't give you energy like that. It could probably keep you up if that's how caffeine affects you. But stamina, energy, ability to work harder, these are Victor Conti words. This man went to jail for giving sport athletes phentermine. He did his bid. And now he busting everybody to the white meat when you try to come and lie. Apocrypha. Try an Arnold Palmer tea lemonade drink. I tried that. I had some Texas friends, and they love their Arnold Palmer. It's pretty good. It's all right. I'm not like, ooh, I gotta have one, but it was pretty good. I liked it, especially if they mix it right. You said, I don't trust Conti, but Conti, Conti be busting them out. Conti went to jail. He ain't got no reason to lie. They just asking for his opinion, I guess. He spoke on he be speaking on a lot of shit that he did illegal, but he served his bid. He served his time. So he ain't got no reason to lie now. He doesn't work for the WBC to my knowledge. But the point of the fact that Valdez cannot point to what he was drinking. He don't have anymore. Okay, go to the store and get the same thing. You don't got that either. So what do you got? What do you have? We will never know because it's all a lie. It's all a lie. He said opinions is okay, but he works with Vada. Oh, okay. Who, Victor Conti? And Vada is the one who caught Valdez. Ladies and gentlemen, his name is Valdez, but I call him Valdez. And Mauricio Suleiman, I call him Mr. Cantone from Harlem Nights. They exemplify their names, their new names. Valdez is a name that Jew Titan came up with. I'm just using it. I'm temporarily borrowing it. You said Conti is friends with G Vada. I know, but Vada is part of the clean boxing program that Mauricio Suleiman or the WBC runs. Vada is the one who caught him. Mauricio Suleiman, the president, wants to sweep it under the rug. It's not Vada that's saying we want to sweep it under the rug. It's the president of the WBC. Apparently, they got that kind of pull where they can, make a fight continue or call a fight off. And if they had any scruples, they would have suspended him immediately and taken his belt. I mean, they taking his purse, but it's going back to who? Mr. Cantone himself. It's going back into his clean boxing program. We don't know where that money going. It's going back into another fund. That was their decision to take his whole purse and put it back in the WBC. Really? That's what they do? So, like I said, first it was the herbal tea, just like one tea. Now it's many different teas. I don't know. Tomorrow it might be tea and coffee. He giving tea and coffee a bad name. Once Victor Conte weighed in, and I told y'all he said what phentermine phentermine is not in the tea. Now, like I said, he's coming up with a variety of teas. Remember, his B sample was contaminated as well. but they don't want to act like that happened. They're making up all many excuses, too many excuses. He said water supersede Vada, being that the gaming casino follows water. I think they should be on whatever one is the best. But if Vada catches you, it's nothing to talk about, right? It's nothing to talk about. Once you're caught, you are guilty. The next steps is your penalty, or as we used to say, your reward, which is a punishing penalty or consequences. But Valdez won't see that. Reggie Bell in the building was popping king. He also say the stuff he popped for. Now this is where the ride get tricky, y'all. He say, this is Valdez, that is, Oscar Valdez, aka Valdez. He says the stuff he popped for don't give him advantages. And this is what he told ESPN. How he know? How you know? You a doctor? People have figured out that it does give you an advantage. That's why it was on the list. They didn't pull it out their ass. It was on their list of banned substances. How you, a person who's boxed, you're not an academic, you're not a scholar, you're not a scientist. So how you gonna say what it do and what it don't? Obviously, it does something. It's making the list. But this is what he want to tell ESPN. So that made me say, how do he know? Then Valdez goes on to say, maybe it was contaminated in the sample with the vitamins or something. Maybe it was vitamins he took that was contaminated. I'm like, what? Contaminated how? Now you a researcher, or you a test person? How you the fact that he is saying this shit makes him look more guilty. It don't give you an advantage. Yeah, because your dumb ass would know, right? And maybe it was contaminated with the vitamins. Who does that? They took the test, you pop, and then you coming up with all these contrary, instances that may or may not happen. Who the hell are you? Just box, dude. Just box. He also said it's going to make me hit harder. It's not going to make me hit harder. No. I guess somebody asked him, is it going to make you hit harder? He emphatically said no. So how should that be illegal? That is what he asked. Somebody asked him, is it going to make him hit harder? He said no. So why is it illegal? Now you're questioning why a banned substance is on the list. We all saw Sha'Carri Richardson did not go to the Olympics, even though we all wanted her to go. And I like Sha'Carri. And Sha'Carri owned up to her stuff. But the rules are the rules. She knew the rules. And she violated the rules. So I can't be mad at anybody who's getting some consequences handed to them when they were in the wrong in the first place. Epa said, is his opponent still fighting him? Yes. And we wondered about that. Because I try to think, what can that guy do? I know it's not the same situation, but y'all remember when Floyd had to fight Madonna, and he was saying, ain't no padding in the glove. This is not knuckle fighting, this is boxing. So Floyd said, put him in my shit. What a lot of people forget is that Floyd had to pay that man $2 million just for changing it up. Just for making him wear some gloves that he was self-assured is correctly made, versus some gloves that's worn out with no padding. Floyd said, put him in the same shit I'm in. and then they demanded that Floyd pay them $2 million. Well, this guy's opponent, Valpez's opponent, don't have $2 million probably laying around. He probably can't. People can ask why is he going through with the fight? For him, he damned if he do, he damned if he don't. If he jump out of the fight, then he could be accused of ducking. He could get blackballed. All kinds of things can happen. It's a missed opportunity. If he go through with the fight and lose because his opponent was cheating, then that's bad too. He's gonna either way, whatever decision he make, it's not gonna be good for him. So to me, I felt like if you're gonna take Valpez purse, give it to his opponent. He said, I recall that 2 million Floyd give me and 2 million gave him and 2 million. Yeah. He had to pay him just for switching the gloves. Don't y'all think that Mr. Cantone need to pay his opponent? Somebody. If you're gonna keep the fight going, that man should get some compensation. Somebody. We worried about Bob's pockets. We worried about Valdez standing. Mauricio is worried about his pockets. Everything is a money grab with this dude. But for Valpez to question why is fentanyl illegal, now where they do that? You're a fighter. Stick to what you know. Let the scientists be the scientists and you get in the boxing ring. And that ain't the same as when that lady said that off the wall shit to LeBron James, shut up and dribble. He was talking about something he can't talk about. Valpez is not a scientist. I am not a scientist. But I can read. I'm not going to question if they say this drug does XYZ. Guess what? I'm following it. I'm not questioning it. It's on the list for some reason. They know about this. But he's questioning now. Why is it legal? So take them 3 things that he's saying. I'm innocent. Well, a couple of things he said. I'm innocent. I don't know how I got in my body. I was drinking a variety of teas, many different teas. I can't tell you which one. I can't tell you the name. I can't even tell you the store I bought it in. I must have got it for a Christmas gift or something. That's what he sound like. I'm just imitating what I think he sound like. And then he said, maybe it was a contaminated batch of the vitamins or something. Something was contaminated. And that the person asked him, well, do it make you stronger? Do you hit harder? Nah, I don't hit harder. So why is it illegal? If it does nothing, why is it illegal? It's a banned substance, dog. That's why it's illegal. He said, I like to break rules from time to time within reason. They do when they in that ring. Y'all notice when they throw a punch and the elbow come right behind it? It happens. I don't cry about everything. But if you lift your leg off the ground and try to knee somebody, I got something to say. If you choke somebody and lift up, I got something to say. Some people, I have some friends who believe that everybody should go ahead and start cheating to just make it fair. Because he believes that people cheat anyway. So why not everybody just go ahead and start cheating? I don't believe that. I don't believe it because you take cheating out of it, take all kinds of cheating out of it. Death is still on the menu when you walk in that ring. I mean, the WBC means nothing at this point. It's a Mexican belt. That's all it is. If you're a Mexican and you want to be a fighter, you're guaranteed to get a WBC. It don't matter. It doesn't matter if you ain't that great. Guaranteed. I pointed out yesterday how the WBC does not carry themselves like a nonprofit. And somebody should look into that. Somebody with more clout and like a lawyer or some people that can actually do something about that. Us as the fans, we just can say it. We can read, we can research, and we can see things. But none of that's probably going to go on. But next time a black fighter find himself in that position, a white fighter find himself in that position, he gonna stick it to them. He gonna put their feet to the fire. Matter of fact, they will the black fighter will probably never fight again. Or just to get the heat off his back, he's gonna find a token somebody. I ain't just saying token blackums. It'll be a token white. It'll be a token somebody. Because right now, all it looks like is when it comes to Mexican fighters, they can do whatever the hell they want to do. We need another belt. Maybe we need an American belt. Fuck the WBC at this point. Are any fighters dropping their belts in the protest? I don't think they are. If you was like on Floyd level, I can see. But if you're a young fighter, just think of it like this, Pop. If if you 5 and you're growing up trying to be a fighter, it's all you want to do. You put that time, you put that work in. Now you at your moment, and this shit is going on. And now everybody wants you to drop your belt, but if you drop your belt, then what do you have? And I said yesterday, them belts is nothing but a money grab, because if you don't really got no money, you ain't gonna become no WBC champion. It's sickening. It's like, how do you even enjoy the fight when you know the fix is in? Fix is always in. If Valdez seriously hurt this boy, I hope he know you can accuse him of attempted murder. If I was Valdez, I wouldn't even want to fight, because if he seriously hurt him, he could be called to the pad for attempted murder. So money over morals always. Money over morals always. It's a money grab. Whenever you want to see shit that don't look right, uh, follow the money. Follow the money, and you will always see the real agenda, the real purpose behind anything. You will see. I didn't necessarily have to follow the money with the WBC. I just had to look at who they favor. I know racism when I see it. I can see racism a mile away. And the WBC got racism written all over it. It ain't just black fighters, it's white fighters too. If you're Mexican, I can't stress that enough. If you are Mexican, you will catch favor with the WBC. You will be able to do whatever it is you want, when you want, when you working with the WBC. It don't even, like, if you from Mexico, oh my God, the carpet is laid out for you. The WBC do not want to give black fighters a belt. They don't want to. That they want to. I told you what their agenda is right now. They trying to make their great Mexican hope. That's what they're trying to do. Because if you ask anybody around the world, what's your top 3 fighters? Nigga, nigga, nigga. This is what I think Canelo be like. Damn. That's what it's all about. And so he gonna do everything he can, fair and unfair, to trip everybody up just to prop up Mexicans. And I know there's probably some honorable Mexicans out there that don't want that shit neither, don't want to have to deal with that. But it's hard to tell an up and coming fighter to disregard something you worked so hard to get. It's hard. And you hoping that things would change and you don't get caught up in the mess. But sometimes people get caught up in the mess and you got to make a decision. I will never tell a fighter to throw their belt away. But I will say there's ways we can get Mr. Cantone held accountable. Take his ass before Congress. Call the IRS. There's a 1-800 number for the IRS. I should have wrote it down. I'm gonna have it tomorrow, where you can call and report nonprofits that's acting foul. And once somebody report it, they're gonna look into it. Matter of fact, when I put this number up tomorrow, because I wrote it down, but when I put it up tomorrow, everybody call. Everybody call and complain. If you get enough, about 1,000 people to call the IRS and make that complaint, oh, they're gonna look into it. They do not play with those 501Cs. And is his company gonna go away? No. But remember what I told y'all yesterday about accreditation. They can yank that shit. He won't go away, but he won't be fighting in America. In America, I don't care what nobody say, it's the mecca of boxing. Everybody know to come here if you want to make that serious brand. If you want better competition, you're gonna come here. Many countries have tried to put their stamp on boxing and become the staple of boxing. Europe, England, whatever. It's not gonna happen. Canada, it's not gonna happen. And damn sure it'll never happen in Mexico. Ain't no American fighters up here interested in going down there to Mexico. They just not. Because we can look at anybody's record and see some tomfoolery. All those guys that come out of Mexico, you can look at their record and see a lot of tomfoolery. Missing fights, losses, wiped off the books. It's always happening. He said Biden admin is going hard at the nonprofits. They want their money. I haven't even been looking at politics like I usually, but shit, if Biden going after them, more power to him. Like I said, I'm gonna put up that 1-800 number. I'm gonna put up that 1-800 number tomorrow because I gotta find it, and I hope y'all blow it up. Like, just be blowing that phone number up. And like I said, it's on the ban list. So it's excuses, excuses, excuses. He said he was trying several type of tea, like I said before, but he can't point to none. He can't tell him where he bought the tea. He can't tell him what tea it is. Who make the tea? Is it American? Is it Mexican? I'm sure it'll be Mexican. I didn't know. By now we know, as far as they concerned, this is the story. This is the narrative that they put out. As far as they concerned, everybody in Mexico is on some kind of banned substance. Even though I'm talking about civilians and everybody. Everybody's taking steroids, pairs, or whatever in Mexico. I went to the taco truck in Mexico. So the taco truck is feeding its customers who ain't got nothing to do with sports, banned substances. I bought some herbal tea. The fact that it's herbal means none of that shit can be in it. So the store is putting performance enhancement drugs in tea. Only in Mexico. You know how Don King say, only in America, but only in Mexico can this shit happen. And you would think that they would understand, because before Canelo blew up, before his whole camp or crew blew up, there were incidents that have happened in Mexico that if he was paying attention, this is his main hustle, this is his job, he would have known, oh, let me be careful when I go to Mexico. He had enough money to run a cow farm in the first place to pack his own meat. But he went to a truck. Okay, you got a maid, I bet you. She couldn't make you no tacos. He said, I like Mexican beers and tequila plus they fresh fruit waters. There was a beer when I lived in Spain called Cruz Campo. I don't like beer, but everybody seemed to love that damn beer. So I would say this: when I lived in Spain, things that taste all right here be like you'll never think mayonnaise. I wanted to buy a box of the little packages of mayonnaise and bring it with me back here. I've never tasted mayonnaise like this. It ain't overly sweet. It tastes way better than Miracle Whip. And you can take it and suck it out the pack. I mean, I bullshit you not. And you know, not being funny, you know how black people is. We don't eat mayonnaise like that. But that mayonnaise was so goddamn good. And I remember that shit to this day. And their Coke products, even though they sell Coke, Pepsi, and all that, they have distributors over there. But whatever they make their Coke out of is way different from here. Way different from here. Like I was wondering, did they go back to the old school recipe of Coke from the 1800s? I was like, what the fuck? I couldn't get an. I would run through a 6 pack of Coke so quick, like I don't know, within a day or two, and I can't do that here because it's not so much as that's that I don't know what part of Coke, which you call it, the seltzer part or whatever, that make you burp and all the time when you drink like a Coke or Pepsi. That shit be too much. That's why I don't like. I don't even like to drink them. They all right. They come through in a pinch, but I'll have sodas like every now and then. But over there, this the way they mix stuff up with the sugar, it's like, mm, America can learn. America can learn because nothing is overly sweet, but it's so good. Like I said, I was running through Coke. I was like, they must actually got Coke in this Coke because I'm I would get up out of my bed and run to the store on base real quick if I ain't had no Coke because I gotta wake up to it. It was just that bad. That's bad meaning good. There it is. Mexican Coke has sugar cane versus corn syrup fructose. That is what it is then. Well, I didn't live in Mexico. I lived in actual country Spain, and maybe if they using the same products or doing it the same way, then I prefer sugarcane then. Yes, fructose ain't good for nobody. Nobody. A lot of people are sick and going around here having problems, can't heal from that because of that fructose shit and that lactase and all that bullshit. But they don't do all that. They don't do all that preservatives. They still drop milk fresh at your door. They still bake bread fresh in the morning and take it to your house, like at your door. Yeah, they do a lot of that stuff. Like you won't see that here. But this was years ago. A lot could have happened. They done had the pandemic. A lot of things could change. Their chicken. Oh my God. Only thing is, don't go in the store and try to buy a certain meat because I went to get some chicken and that shit had the head and the feet. I was like, I can't eat it. I know what this motherfucker look like now. I can't eat it. So you say, yeah, preservatives are all bad. Indeed, people running around here with autoimmune disorders and don't even know it because of these preservatives. All it does is help stay on the shelf long, but it does a number to your body doesn't like it. Even if you're not showing illnesses like some of us, but your body don't like it. But let me turn to Valdez is lying. Recap, he's saying it's many different teas. That's different than saying one herbal tea. He's saying that it doesn't make him hit harder and it shouldn't even be illegal. Like questioning why is it illegal? You know, and he's saying, like, I don't know how it got there. If somebody stuck something in his ass, would he say that? I don't know how it got there. How do you say I don't know how something got there? It's your body. Fentanyl just don't jump up and go jump in somebody's body. You had to put it there. And the best you could come up was tea. Is it because that he wanted to have plausible deniability? Did he think that they wouldn't say, what tea? Where you buy it? That's why he's full of shit. And they ought to be ashamed of themselves. I hope he get arrested right after the fight. Because I thought boxers' hands were registered weapons. And if banned substances are not allowed, then what are you doing when you get in the ring? If death is on the menu, even if you don't intend to do harm like that, what does that say when you get in the ring, knowingly on some performance enhancement drugs, knowing that that can lead to death in that ring? I think some cops need to arrest him as soon as he get out. But I'm gonna move on. Gary Russell Jr. is bumping his gums again. I like Gary. I ain't gonna front. That's DC. DMV, stand up all day. I'm from the bots. So I like Gary, but I like Gary not just because I'm from Virginia. I like Gary because the nigga can fight. But Gary did disappoint me when they was going back and forth with Devin Haney and nothing materialized. I gotta say, Devin, I was disappointed because I wanted to see you fight. And I don't know why that didn't happen. They say this, you say that. I don't know. I ain't gonna get involved in all that. I just wanted to see the fight as a fan. But Gary Russell Jr., he's getting that tank for what he is saying, that they like considering to cherry pick for Tank. He talking about his team, and he's basically saying Tank see it, his team know they doing it. I don't know if he was getting that Tank to let him know, hey, dude, you know how they handling you, right? They cherry picking your fights. Maybe he trying to send a message to uh to Tank, but Tank hasn't complained, and TFT is moving, meaning Floyd Mayweather Promotion is moving him the way they want to. It does look like they cherry picking. I'm sorry. I love Floyd. I love Tank. But it does look like that. Because you're picking some fighters. Like when they, all this using other fighters' name for clout to build your brand, people need to stop that because isn't that what kind of what happened with Tank and Keith Thurman? I don't think that Tank could beat Keith Thurman. I think they both are punchers, but Keith is bigger. They have weight classes for a reason. And if you're gonna come in there and fight Keith, you gotta fight Earl, you gotta fight Terrence, you gotta fight Boots, you gotta fight Virgil. If you're not gonna fight none of them, then don't come in that welterweight. That was my position. We since know now that Tank is not gonna do that. You said Tank need to leave Floyd? Probably so. Floyd mean well, but how can I say this in a nice way? He means well. And he has done right by Tank. We can't say he hasn't. But I think Floyd is still young enough to, he's still young enough at heart where he kind of still in that limelight. And it's gonna be hard because he's such a polarizing figure. It does even if he was building up another fighter on his under his promotional banner. When Floyd is around, he's a polarizing figure. People gonna direct questions to him. In the beginning, Tank couldn't, he couldn't answer questions, right? He was he was uncomfortable with the press. So Floyd had to step in. Well, at this point, we are all saying that we want Floyd to back off because we think Tank can take it from here. But, Floyd, probably would have just let him always talk on his own. But Tank showed that he couldn't handle that type of pressure. So Floyd spoon fed him as a good promoter should. But like I said, at this point, Floyd needs to really play the background. But if Floyd comes in the room, he like E.F. Hutton. Everybody gonna turn around and want to listen. And I mean, we can't always blame Floyd for that, but I do agree Floyd need to fall back. Say I don't like how Floyd doesn't let Tank speak for himself. That's what I was talking about. In the beginning, remember Tank couldn't answer a question. He couldn't even. It's almost like he couldn't speak. Maybe he had the deer in the headlights type thing going. Floyd had to jump in, and I get it. I totally get it. You saving them. You get in there. You're doing it with them. So it's kind of like on the job training. Not only do you got to be a fighter, you got to be charismatic. You got to be able to talk to these fans. You got to know when to hold them, fold them, and walk away and run. You got to know how to handle the media. Don't let the media handle you. You handle the media. So that's what Floyd was doing. But at this point, I agree with everybody. Fall back, Floyd. If he don't got it by now, he ain't gonna never have it. And you said Floyd needs to stop being Diddy and be Suge Knight all in the video. So Gary Russell complaining that if you're not careful, Tank, you're gonna start looking like a cherry picker, and that's not what you want for your legacy. He was saying he is becoming a cherry picker by the way that the team is moving him. He also points out that Tank's fights, his last couple of fights, they point out that Tank for Mario Barrios at 140, the junior welterweight division, and won. But he didn't fight Prograis. He didn't fight Josh Taylor. Namely, Gary named uh, Josh Taylor, who was the undisputed champion at that weight class. They didn't try to put a fight together for him, because maybe they know he can't beat Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor seemed like he could be beaten, but when they get in there with him, they be having trouble with him. Everybody who gets in there with him, they have trouble. They underestimate him, and they feel that Barrios was a lesser talent, a target, a cherry picker, a cherry pick for Tank, especially gift wrap for Tank. He also pointed to the fight with Yuri Orcas Gamboa, where we know he's a future Hall of Famer, Cuban fighter. But he said Yuri Orcas was 40. I didn't know he was in my age group. I thought he was way younger. But he said he cherry picked with that one. And if y'all remember that fight, I think that's the fight Yuri Orcas, something happened to his Achilles heel or his shoe broke or something in the second round, and he made it all the way to the 12th. Was that him or was that Devin? See, I might be getting. I know Devin fought him and Tank fought him, or Tank fought him and then Devin fought him. However, no, Tank knocked him out in the last round. That's what it was. Tank knocked him out, but it took him that long. And Gary said, truth be told, Marios was winning the fight. I said Marios. I combined his first name and last name. Mario Barrios. I'm just say this, man. When y'all name y'all kids, you can't have two names that sounding like it's like that nigga got two first names. Barrios was winning the fight. This is what Gary Russell said. So I thought about it and I said, okay, he kind of was. What's the name? Leo Santa Cruz was kind of getting some little leeway too. But Tank got that equalizer. But isn't that what everybody complaining with Deontay? Just waiting on your power punch, having that equalizer. They want to see you box more. Tank can box. He's a great talent. I take nothing from him. But Tank is very strategic now. But sometimes when you let too many rounds go, I mean, I know that you're under the tutelage of Floyd, but Floyd didn't let a lot of rounds escape him like that. Like I see the Tank is starting to do. You said laugh out loud. Um, you said Taylor, a dirty fighter. He punches and lets the elbows go with his punches. That is dirty, Pa. But here's the thing: that's one of them acceptable dirties. I know I don't like cheating at all, but that one is acceptable dirty. Floyd did it his whole career. I always saw Floyd do it. I always sit back. Let me count how many times this nigga throw the blow. If you run in on Floyd, he got his elbow sit. You like run into it. He got his elbow sitting up, just waiting for you to run into it. So those are acceptable in a sense. Just as my opinion, it is not acceptable by the rules, but it's one of those things the ref don't always say nothing about it. Unless it's just like blatant. Like if you put your elbow up and just you bring that bitch back from Mississippi. Hey, the ref catch that, he gonna be like, look, warning, do it again, and you getting a point deducted. But if you throw a punch and then you turn and you coming behind it, like the momentum never stopped. Bow! The ref don't say shit. People do it all the time. And Floyd was notorious for that. And I was like, but a lot of people would get in the fight with Floyd and try to hurt him and try to do dirty tactics too. So Floyd was like, nigga, I can do that. I can play, you can play that game. Reggie Bell said Tank like that money. Yeah, he do, but Tank, he want a legacy too. But that's what I reported about this weeks ago. I said if it's about the money grab, let us know. Because once we start seeing you doing a money grab, like a Mikey Garcia, I'm not really interested in him as a fighter. I can't really assess him. He has no goals. If you're a fighter, you should have two goals. You should want to be a champion. Then you want to be three. You should want to be champion. Then you want to be unified, and then you want to be undisputed. Those are goals you should have as a fighter. I don't know if you're not having those goals. What are you in the sport for? So, yeah, Russell was calling him out. Basically just like I said, just saying how they moving you, you looking like a cherry picker in these boxing streets. You looking like that right now. And I could talk about the last two fighters you had and look at this bullshit. You know, y'all talk some shit and then y'all don't finish it up. So Gary brought up a good point because it shouldn't be hard to make these fights. Epa said, I feel you, just do it back. You damn right. You bow me, I bow you, just like that. Um, Gary said there were so many fighters you could have fought in your division. You could have fought Loma. Loma talked about Tank like a dog, and Tank never responded. You know how everybody on social media go back and forth? Tank never responded. Haney. Haney is always telling you, they say everything, but let's fight. And I think Bill put the stank on it like, they say everything, but let's fight right now. Just so we don't say, yeah, we're going to fight. And that's 2-3 years from now. He said, fight right now. Then Teofimo, look at what he been doing this year. Bull crapping around. Then you got Valdez, the one we was talking about earlier, and Burchell. That's the one that Valdez beat his last fight. And now that's in question. Were you on drugs then? Was you high then? Burchell was knocking everybody out. And then your little monkey ass come up in there and you do what you do. And we supposed to believe that it's all on the up and up. And we see how the president of a whole sanctioning body is capping for you. Tank could have fought Shakur Stevens. He won't be fighting them anytime soon because Shakur Stevens fights at 130 and Tank is not going back down there. He didn't gave up that belt for that division anyway. And Jamel Herring, who is set to fight Shakur Stevens in the near future, in the next couple of months, I think November. They have Ryan down there, but man, who cares about Ryan? Only thing I care about Ryan is I know he's down with the camp, but it remains to be seen if he pop. And what about the fat dude that beat Joshua, Andy Ruiz? All of a sudden he get down there and he motherfucking Billy Blanks. Like y'all, I don't know if y'all seen him lately. That dude was a big guy, but now he go down there to the Reynoso camp with Canelo and he losing weight. If they got something in the bottle, they need to put it on the shelf and make billions off that. Because if you could take something that make you lose weight, but it ain't no performance enhancement drug, you need to sell that. I'll manage you. You need to sell that. He said, Andy, yeah. So all those fighters that Gary spit out and Tank has not seen, and nor do they seem like they trying to make him see. So you have to wonder. Right now, they told Tank you have to pick between the 140 division or the 135 because you know they're getting rid of all them extracurricular belts. So his next fight is actually going to be at 135. He is due to fight Rolly Romero in December. If that fight don't happen, blame Floyd. I'm sorry. There's no way that that fight can't happen. I take it back. If that fight happens, don't happen because of something that has nothing to do with either fighter, then it's Floyd fault. But if that fight happens, then it's Floyd's. We gotta praise him because they both work for Floyd. So you see what I'm saying? That is, they both PBC and they both work for Floyd. So that's not a hard fight to make. Should not be no questions. They gonna get what they want. Floyd got it. But if something happened, then Floyd would tell you, I can't make them fight. I can't make them fight. Because you know with that Rolly Romero incident, and then Devin Haney called him out, and then it was like, "Oh, I don't want to fight. I'm retiring." I don't even know why you said something. Why you gather the spit in your mouth to even mention Devin Haney's name if you're not gonna even try to fight him? You say you like that fight, Rolly got his mouth on you. Hey, Epod, is it me or do Rolly is he a can't get right? Always, there's something about this boy that I be like, this can't get right. He don't act like can't get right in the movie life, but when I'm saying can't get right, it's something. But he might be smart, but I swear he come off like He can't get right. That's the best way I can say it. Y'all know Steven Espinoza broke that. Steven Espinoza works for the Showtime Boxing, so he would know who gonna have a fight coming up or whatever. And he put that out there on Front Street, on them boxing streets, that Rolly and Tank is next. And he said December. So we are all waiting on pins and needles. From June to now, this has been the most suckiest time for boxing. We get our hopes up, ready for whatever, and then shit get canceled. Either you got COVID or you bitching out. One of the two. Something is off with him. So Steven put that out there, and it looks like Tank is picking the 135 division, because I know the deadline is by that fight or right after that fight. He has to make a choice. They're gonna allow him to go ahead and take one more fight, but then after that fight, he has to make a choice what weight division he want to fight in. Because, like I said, WBA is getting rid of all those belts. So when they phase out, they ain't coming back anyway. So I mean, the best you can do with that belt right now, it could probably guarantee you a mandatory fight with whoever. So he, meaning Tank, will probably be facing, like I said, Rolly in December, and he's gonna pick whatever belt he picked. That's what he gonna rock with. Yeah, if he picked 135, then y'all know that man know it's best for him to stay there. In other news, so y'all know that fight that's coming up with Oscar De La Hoya, right? So they replaced Oscar with Evander Holyfield. Oscar caught COVID. He's in the hospital or whatever. Evander is 58 years old. Shout out to Evander, and he looks good. Like whether he was training, because I think once Mike and Roy did that show, I think Evander was like, "Shit, I'm gonna get back in the gym too." But Evander looks good for his age, and they even said if the sanction, if they don't sanction the fight in the state that they supposed to have it, that they are willing to move to a state that will. I was like, wow, wow. Evander is, and I would want to see that. I wanted to see it with Oscar too. I hope that my screen is not jumping, but I see it doing on my end. So I apologize to y'all for that. But that's September the 11th card with Triller, with those old fighters like is it Silver? It's some other UFC fighters, but I think they all boxing. It's still going down, whether Oscar's in the hospital or not. Evander has rogered up to go handle that business and put in that work. In other news, Andre Ward is calling himself helping Caleb Plant. Now Canelo told him Andre ain't gonna save you, or he ain't gonna be able to save you. So Canelo talking smack. But if Andre is able to help Caleb and add some things to his arsenal, I think he can. He got like a month. He got at least like 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks. Remember, that fight is November 6th, and we got another 3 weeks in this month, and a whole 31 days. Yeah, he got about 8 weeks. So can Andre tune Caleb Plant up and get it? Because as I always say, every time I think about Caleb Plant, I'm gonna say, I'm sorry, Caleb. I'm sorry, but they're gonna cheat you. If you don't knock him out, you can outbox him and everything. Ask Laura. I sound like a broken record because I really believe that's what's gonna happen. So, but good luck to y'all. Hope Andre bring you something. Hope he put something in your tube bag. Canelo gonna hurt that boy. I be feeling that too, but Canelo has problems with people who know how to move their feet, and Caleb know how to move his feet. If Caleb can take a punch and move and fight Canelo, then yeah. But like I said, even if he outbox him, they want Canelo to be undisputed. It's in the magazines. Y'all ain't seen them. They didn't hit sin yet, but it's already written. It's in the stockpile in Mexico. So 2 minutes after that fight, all of Mexico gonna have that magazine, and it's gonna be distributed all through America. They already wrote the story down. That's why I'm saying you fighting and the judges. If I was you, no Latinos allowed. Nothing against your whole race. I'm just saying. Latinos cheat for other Latinos, and you just want to be sure. Not every Latino is a cheater. Not every Mexican gets down like that, but you got to be sure. And I don't pull it out my ass. When Floyd and Canelo fought, Floyd waxed his ass. But what did the judge say? The Latino judge. Oh, it was a tie. It wasn't a tie. When Laura beat his ass, I'm sure there was a Latino. I don't know who the judges were, but I'm sure there was some. Somebody cheated for him because Laura won. But they want Canelo to be the great hope of Mexico or something. I don't know what they want. But they already show what they will do. They want him to be undisputed. Once David Benavidez lost that belt, and David, it is your fault. Canelo swooped in like a hawk to gather that belt up. He is a cherry picker. He wasn't going to fight David, not for the belt. He ain't gonna fight Charlo. Canelo want easy opponents that stand still like a punch bag. That's what he want. That's all he want in the ring is a punch bag that's gonna stand still and let him piece you up. You move around, you in and out, you stay on your toes. He will have problems. He'll try to chase you down. He'll try to hit you hard. Do he gas out? Yeah, but he get a second win real quick. His normal self, without the extracurricular, without the extracurricular, he gasses out pretty quick. Um, Now, what I want to move on to this, I'm gonna be real brief. Like I said, we 32, 33 days out from Fury versus Wilder 3. Fury saying he's already saying shit like Tyson Fury looking for a way. I feel like he's looking for a way out. He said, why don't him and Joshua trash all their belts and just fight, not for a belt? Because he want that $100 million payday. Payday. The plane, boss, the plane. He wants the payday. But he's scared to death to fight Deontay. The only way Fury can win against Deontay is to cheat. He, proof has shown that he did that twice in the fight. But people got their eyes on him this time around. They ain't gonna let that happen. So he ain't gonna be able to cheat. So he don't want to fight Deontay. He want to fight bitch ass AJ, and I got to call him a whole bitch because he's a heavyweight and he ducks real heavyweights. It made me think you're not a heavyweight. You keep fighting the same circle of three. I don't even want to watch your fights half the time. I hope Usyk beat you, but I don't hope Usyk beat you and then run back to whatever country you from and then don't come out no more. I need y'all to let Deontay get in this game. And AJ, you've been blocking Deontay all these years because you're scared. And that's crazy because if you're the unified champ, nobody can take that away from you. You will always have that record. But that ducking shit that you did to Deontay and you ducked Luis Ortiz. And truth be told, you was ducking Tyson Fury. But I don't blame nobody for ducking Tyson because, he's a cheater. I wouldn't want to get in the ring with him. So he hasn't said, meaning Tyson, he hasn't said what date he looking to do all this. But y'all remember, the judge said he had to fight Deontay or else retire. So he don't have a boxing license to fight in his own country. So he can't even fight over there. So if he get a boxing match, where he gonna fight? If he don't fight Deontay, he can't fight over here. So where they gonna fight? And they think if they go to the Arab countries or wherever, Dubai or whatever, and do a fight over there, like we gonna buy it. Y'all gonna be paying this man a lot of money, and nobody gonna buy the fight. Nobody cares. But Tyson Fury, no respect for him. AJ, I'm sorry. You seem like a decent person, but you are carrying yourself like a whole bitch. And I gotta speak on it. Why? Because you're avoiding fighters. And you supposed to be a heavyweight champion. heavyweight champions don't be scared. They face the music regardless. You putting a bad name on the heavyweight division. I don't get it. I'm sure don't nobody else get it. But all I know is Tyson better show up on October 9th. I'm actually gonna be in Vegas that week. We'll see. Josh Warrington, y'all know he just fought. His fight was cut short because the clash of heads. He's saying basically he gonna probably move on if this guy don't heal properly or get back in it. They had his opponent, Lara, not to be confused with Eris Landy Lara. His opponent Lara took a cut to the eye from their head clashing in the second round. And Warrington don't know if he's gonna come back. He's hoping at least by January. If not, he's gonna move on. But that's the latest of them because that fight happened this weekend. Nobody got to see the fight because of the incident, you know. So, um, well, I'm at the end. This is all the information that I had to give to y'all today. I have a phone number, and you guys can call in. So I'm gonna see which one of you guys gonna call in. We can talk about anything. Yeah, that was a bad cut. But he just saying, Josh Warrington just saying, I'm not gonna wait for him. I'm just not gonna wait that long. I gotta move on. Man, you want that cut to heal. You hope it don't be healing in a way that it come back open. Y'all see the bottom number 706-804. I don't know why I said 6649. That is not correct. Hold on. I don't know how that got up there. Let me correct that. Hold on. I'm gonna edit it. It should not be 6649. It should be 4449. 4449. Okay? That's the number. But you know, and it took me forever to figure out how to hook these phones up. In the future, when we don't have a lot of boxing with all the cancellation of these fights, people coming down with COVID, you know, we're gonna have to talk about different things. So I'm looking forward to setting up my channel to have grown women talk. Y'all men are welcome to listen. I'm hoping that it'll be fun. That kind of, you know, just a fun, lighthearted talk. I'm also looking to talk about health and wellness and all that. So anybody can chime in. And like I said, when we have grown women talk, y'all can get a peek of the inside scoop and listen in on what us women be talking about. What we got to say, what we got to say. uh, you say yes, Laura did. So anyway, anybody want to call so I can practice it? Hey, while I got y'all there, tell me if y'all hear this music. I don't know what's going on, but can y'all hear this? Do y'all hear that? Said Laura never got over that robbery. Are you talking about Eris Landing? Can one of y'all type in there to tell me if y'all hear music? Help a sister out. Do y'all hear the music? Okay, so y'all don't hear me asking y'all, do y'all hear the music? Okay. Y'all don't hear nothing. Do y'all hear something now? Y'all hear anything? Quiet Figaro. Quiet Figaro fights off. Hey, do you hear music playing? I have to fix this. I can't tell. I can't fix it when I'm offline because I have to figure out why it's not playing music. You say you hear it now? Pop? You hear it now? Tell me if you hear it when I turn it up. So, did you hear that when I turned it up? Yes, okay. So I have to have these two buttons and the bottom touch. Okay. Thank you, Pa. Nobody wanted to call and talk to a sister before we get off. I'm actually over an hour today, but quitting time is to my discretion. Anybody want to call in so we can see if these phones work? Yes, I hear it up. You say yes, I hear it up and down in the volume. Thank you. I think I know what buttons I gotta make sure I press. Anybody want to call in? Y'all scared? I ain't gonna bite. You said next time. I just want to see if it works. Reggie, call that number down there. See if it works. I should have probably did it in the beginning, but yeah, I can't tell until I get on because I don't want to make videos and it be out there and it's just a test. I know you're supposed to be able to hit a button that says it's just a test, but it might not work. I'm not good at computers and all that. I'm just learning. So, but thank y'all for tuning in. I will see y'all tomorrow. Coming soon. It's gonna be me doing what I did yesterday, but with another sanctioned body belts. It's important for us to know their agenda, what they're up to, what they're trying to do. My next sanctioned body belt is better known as the Venezuela belt or the Latino belt. Because if you're from Venezuela, you guaranteed that fight gonna make it. That belt is gonna make its way into your hands. But they about the money too. It ain't just about you got to be Latino. You got to be Venezuelan. You got to be Latino, or it's about the money. But the money go both with either Latino or Venezuelan. We can't separate the money, not with the WBA. But since we put all that pressure, they are making steps, like improving what we thought that was wrong. At least they making an attempt. I'll give them that. The only belt or sanction about it, I'm not really gonna talk about. Do a whole segment about it will be the IBF because you don't hear much from them. I ain't really got nothing to say about them. I'll be talking about the WBO after I talk about the WBA. But thank y'all for tuning in. And when you know better, you do better. Watch this. Hold up. Here we go.